Sports fans, PB and Z Sportscast. Looking forward, BC, PB to BC today, hosting Georgia Tech a little later on. We'll see how that goes. 16.5-point underdog, Georgia Tech, and that horrible ACC. We'll talk about that momentarily. PB, we're going to talk NFL, but first thing, MLB, Judge and Ohtani, repeat winners. First time, I think, ever that the same two guys from both leagues repeated at the same time. Were those the two best players? I mean, obviously Ohtani, fourth time that he's been a unanimous MVP, I think is obviously easy in the NL. A lot of debate about the AL. Cal Raleigh, right? Had a great year as a catcher, hitting 60 home runs. Would you have picked Raleigh or would you have picked Judge?
That's a tough one. I mean, you could go either way. To mix it up a little bit, maybe take Raleigh, but you can't take away from what Judge did. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, as much as we hate the Yankees, I'm with you. I think you got to give Judge just by a sliver over Raleigh. All right, let's get into NFL talk. PB, big news this past week. The former commissioner, Paul Tagliabue, died. It had me thinking, is he potentially the greatest commissioner of any sport over the last 50 years? What he did in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I would maybe make that argument. The NHL with Bateman might be another one, the Bettman that I would maybe throw in there. But yeah, I mean, he's a classic, and you hear his name and
no labor shortage, no labor stoppages under his regime. So to me, that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. Yep.
Yeah. All right, last week, your hometown Dolphins shocked the Bills. Is that more an indictment of the Bills or a testimony to the Dolphins?
That's a very interesting question. I think obviously McDaniel's in the hot seat, right? They just got rid of their GM.
How do you fire the GM and not fire the head coach? I still don't understand that at all.
I know. And the way that defense was playing, like they looked actually good. Now, to your point, is that them taking it up a level to the next level, or is that Buffalo not really as good as we think they are? I think it's 50-50. I'm going to be split on this one. I don't have a solid opinion either way. I
think it's definitely Buffalo, an indictment of Buffalo. By the way, Buffalo, we're going to pick this game in a minute. They're playing the team that the Pats beat last week, and we'll talk about the Pats, Tampa Bay. So Buffalo hosts Tampa Bay. That'll be a big game for those two teams. Drake Maye obviously won against Tampa Bay last week. He beat Buffalo in Buffalo earlier in the season. 2 huge road wins. Now he's the favorite for the MVP. What do you think of that? I'm still not sure. I mean, they have the weakest schedule in the NFL, I think, up to date. So I'm not sure I want to give him all those kudos. To me, it's Jonathan Taylor at this moment for MVP. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to give it to a running back at the end of the day. I mean, if he continues on the tear he's on for the rest of the year, because remember, we're only just a little over halfway through the year. So if he continues on that same tier, then the argument becomes stronger. But it just seems like it's the quarterback award, right, for the most part. So if Dre takes this team to 13-4 after coming off a 4-13 year, it's going to be hard not to give it to May either. But Stafford's not out of this question. You don't know what Mahomes is going to do down the stretch. I just think there's a lot of people in this conversation right now. The fact that May is leading it might be a little bit of like, what have you done for me lately kind of theory. The year's still got to play out. A lot can happen.
And he's got 2 marquee games coming up. Buffalo at home, Baltimore, I forget where that's at.
It's at Baltimore.
All right, so those games, that's where he's going to prove it at that point in time. Those are the ones. Because right now, the rest of the schedule is pretty light. I mean, they got the Giants on the goddamn schedule, right? So how light can you get? And the Jets once again, which they beat last Thursday night. So we'll see.
But I still don't think that will impact his ability to win MVP. If they lose to Buffalo 31-27, he puts up his first 300-yard game of the season, throws for 4 touchdowns. He's still going to be in the conversation because of the stats. I don't think if the Patriots go 13-4 and they lose to Buffalo and Baltimore, you don't think he can still win MVP?
I still get Jonathan Taylor. If Jonathan Taylor carries the Colts, if Jonathan Taylor's not playing on the Colts, are they in that position? No. So
All right.
I know quarterbacks are the guys, but at some point in time, you got to break that trend, and you got to look at a guy that's really carrying the team.
I agree.
I'm not sure, so we'll
Okay.
see. Hey, by the way, interesting thought I heard. If Mike Vrabel wins the Coach of the Year, which he probably will, if they go 13-4 or 14-3, he definitely clinches it because it means he beats one of those two twos we just said. I don't think you see both of them winning the award, Coach of the Year and MVP on the same team. I think the writers don't want to do that. So we'll see. You
Okay.
mentioned a guy, though. You mentioned a guy, interesting, Matthew Stafford. I'm with you on that. Big game we're going to pick in a minute as well. Seattle going to LA Rams. Stafford had another great game last week. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 3 straight games. You know that's the first time in NFL history that a quarterback's thrown 4 touchdowns and never had an interception in 3 straight games.
I know. That's crazy. And I mean, May's doing some things too that are first in the NFL. So let's not take away from what he's doing. But yeah, that 4-0 for 3 straight games is pretty impressive. And I like the way the Rams are playing right now.
By the way, I got a little DYK for you. You're going to be stunned. I don't know if you heard the stat. You're going to be stunned if you haven't. That game put Matthew Stafford at 500 for the first time in his NFL career. He's now 115, 115-1. Does that blow your mind?
Yeah, it does. But I also think back to when he was with the Lions, when the Lions sucked, and he would still put up good numbers, but they just couldn't.
But still, to never have been at 500 before this in his career, that's a long time.
But think, how many years was he with the Lions? The Lions never had a winning record one of those years.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
So,
hey, by the way, one other big news item this week, I forgot to mention at the top. Brian Dable finally got fired. Yes, yes. He's the most immature coach in the NFL history, in my opinion. He's emotionally unstable. They couldn't keep him. I'm glad they fired him. And not just because he's a clown, but well, yes, because he's a clown. Any other takes for you before we make some picks?
No, I do. Just one thing. The week last week opened up on a Thursday night game with a 10-7 snoozer, and it ended on the bookend on the Monday night game was also another 10-7 snoozer. Some teams that you were hoping that could actually show their prowess, like Denver, and they only could beat the Raiders 10-7, and then you had the Eagles and the Packers. The defenses didn't necessarily play awesome, but yet they just couldn't move the foot. It was just a weird game.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the game that brought it, that Falcons Colts game in Germany on Sunday morning, that was a great game to watch. Like that's the kind of football you want to see when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, there was. And Taylor had a huge game that night, that morning, 244, I think, right?
Yeah, big day.
There you go, making my argument. All right. Sweet. Man, we got 6 really tough games to pick. I struggle with these, since I first gave them to you and G Money earlier in the week. And it literally took me this morning. Actually, I still have one I haven't even circled yet. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. This game, you would say, on the surface, Cincinnati's going to get blown out once again because they are getting blown out all the time. Pittsburgh should win the game. Aaron Rodgers has not been stellar. Meanwhile, the other 40-year-old on the other sideline, the guy you laughed at me when I said he's going to resurrect the Cincinnati Bengals, he personally has. Unfortunately, they can't play defense. Joe Flacco's been friggin' awesome since he came to start for those guys. Who do you like in this game?
Yeah, I mean, they're hanging in there enough with that division and the way it's going. They win this week. They're right and Joe Burrow comes back in a week or two. You're back in the conversation. This team maybe wouldn't be able to win that division. So I look at this as a huge game. I'm just not sold on Pittsburgh. I mean, last week I know you took the Chargers too. G Money took Pittsburgh, but I just don't see Pittsburgh as a real team. Like they're just they're flat. There's nothing to them. They're a Mike Tomlin 9-8 or 8-9 team is what they are, and that's what they're going to do the rest of the year. They're just a 500 kind of team. This game means a ton for the Bengals. I like the Bengals going into Pittsburgh and winning this game. G Money has Cincinnati as well.
I'm going Pittsburgh, and not because of Aaron Rodgers. I just think their defense will hold on enough to stop the high-flying Bengals team. So I got Pittsburgh in a very close one in Pittsburgh. By the way,
okay.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, we're going to pitch college in a minute, but that's what college game day is today. So that's a crazy weekend in Pittsburgh on the Three Rivers, right? You got college football, college game day, Notre Dame there, and then tomorrow Cincinnati, a division rival, comes to Pittsburgh. What a great man! I would love to be in Pittsburgh this weekend.
Yeah, I wonder if the Penguins are home too this weekend. That would make for
Oh
even
my God, Madison, because they're all right there, right? Those stadiums are all right there, right?
yeah.
All right, Bucks go to Bills. Bills, we just talked about, had that horrible loss last week. Bucks got beat by the Pats. I think the Bucks just got too many injuries. I would pick them in this game if it wasn't for all their injuries on a bounce back, because Baker usually comes back hard and strong after a loss. But I see the Bills. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's two teams that are coming off losses that they weren't expecting, right? Maybe Tampa a little bit more than Buffalo, but Buffalo, I mean, was what, a 2-touchdown favorite going into Miami, and got smoked. It was the other way around.
Yeah.
This game will actually tell us a lot, because if Tampa wins this game, then all of a sudden Tampa becomes that resilient team that I think can get to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I almost want to say the same for Buffalo. If Buffalo can win this game, I don't want to play Buffalo even in the first round of the playoffs. You know what I mean? Going in.
Yep.
And this will be that game that kind of takes them over that hump as well. So it's such a big game, man. And it's so hard to pick because it's so important for both teams. But gonna go with the home team. Gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna be surprised if
me as well, because of the home team factor.
Yeah. So I think we're all on we're all in Buffalo for that game.
All right. Another game, PB, which was strictly a toss-up for me. Bears and Vikings. Now, at the beginning of the season, I would not have thought this game would be a toss-up, but all of a sudden the Bears are looking very, very good in that division, because Green Bay is crashed and burned. What do you think of this game?
Yeah, and it's looking pretty good lately. I'm not gonna discount the way the defense is playing at times. JJ McCarthy is I'm not gonna say he's a whirlwind next star quarterback, but at the same time, he's managing games. He's making throws when he needs to make.
Like he did at Michigan, yeah.
Like he did at Michigan. He's making throws when he needs to make throws. He's picking up the third down line. He's just doing the things that you need to do to keep the ball on the offensive side of the field and hang in games. I like Minnesota at home. I'm going to take the Vikings in this one. G Money has the Vikings too.
Me too. Home team. That's the only reason why in this case. All right. Another toss-up game, a big divisional game as well. This one and the other one's a big divisional game. Seattle goes to the Rams. Seattle is just one of those teams, man. Where's their weakness, right? And then we just talked about the Rams and Matthew Stafford finally being 500 in his career. Who do you like in this game?
Again, you're right. These are all like so hard to pick, and it's almost like I'm just going to take the home team and play it safe in all these games, right? And I'm going to do that again here with the Rams. But I do really like the way the Rams are playing right now. I think they're well coached. I think they have a unbelievable, quarterback and Stafford in the way he's playing, MVP type year potentially. I like the Rams. Take the Rams in this one.
On the Rams as well, but you can't ignore Sam Darnold, who should be in the MVP conversation as well, right? So, but Rams, I think, just by again another game, these are all going to be field goal games, I think, at the end.
G Money has the Rams too, by the way. So
okay, all right, man. So here we go. Now we get into another tough one. This is kind of I hate to say this, but this is potentially an elimination game for the Chiefs going to Denver in Mile High. A long-time divisional rivalry that's been intense in the years past. What do you think?
Yeah, and you just put the exclamation point on the whole what this game is all about. Like this game, Kansas City is probably not going to win the division if they lose this game, because Denver moves to 9-2, Kansas City moves to 6-4, would it be, or something like that? And you have a loss to Denver. I mean, it's like a 4 games with how many games left? I mean, you're pretty much toast at that point. So because of that, that's why I'm going to pick the Chiefs on the road to beat the Broncos.
One step further, if the Chiefs were to lose this game, they'd be looking up at 3 other teams for the wild card even at that point in time. So, I mean, it's not only a divisional elimination game, it's a playoff elimination game potentially. So that's why I'm going with KC as well.
Yeah, I think they can still sneak in the playoffs as a 6 or 7 if they lose this game, but the division's out of the question. G Money actually has the Broncos in this one.
You can't argue with that, right? They're playing well. They're playing.
Well, well,
Their defense is immense, right? So
their
you can't
defense
argue with
is
that.
great, but Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and company will figure out that defense. They will still put up in the mid 20s, I think, at least. And my argument is look what Denver did last week with the Raiders. They've only scored 10 points. The Chiefs defense is a heck of a lot better than the Raiders.
It is. Yep.
So
But again, that was a division rivalry game as well. That's always been a huge matchup, Denver and the Raiders. All right,
yeah,
last one. Lions, Eagles. I believe this is a Sunday night game. This one
it
again,
is.
Lions are going to the Eagles. Lions, you picked the beginning of the year as your NFC Super Bowl team, I believe, right? So
Yep.
wow, this one, big news was Matt Campbell, Dan Campbell taking over the offensive play calling last week. He's still going to do it this week. What do you think?
Yeah, and I'm going to go with the same theory I just did with Denver, only putting up 10 points last week on the Raiders, and you had the Eagles only putting up 10 points on the Packers. Like their offense looks lethargic right now. I mean, they just look bad. Hurts isn't throwing the ball well. There's guys aren't getting open. There's just all kinds of problems there. They live off the tush push. And by the way, the tush push, they cheat on it every freaking time and they don't even call it. It's ridiculous how much earlier the guards are jumping off the
Yeah, yeah.
line before, it's just ridiculous. So Detroit's a better team, better players, better receivers, better coach. I granted it's on the road, but I'm taking the Lions all. None of mine picking the Lions. I'm gonna have a bold prediction, and they win by 2 touchdowns.
Wow. I don't see that. I got Lions winning as well. By the way, if Philadelphia wins this game, they're the clear-cut best team in the NFC, in my opinion. So we'll see. But I'm
Wait,
going. I'm
wait, wait,
going
wait,
Lions.
wait. You're gonna say they're better than the team that wins the Seahawks Rams game?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, all
If
right.
they beat the Lions, if they beat the Lions, who you just called as the best team in the NFC, if they win this game, I gotta
Okay,
say Philadelphia.
okay, all right. G
But
Money does.
I am picking the Lions, but because
Okay,
I don't like to pick Philadelphia being an NFC East fan. So
yeah. Well, G Money does have the Eagles in this one, so you and I have the Lions. Yep.
okay. All right. Let's go a little college real quick. The ACC is a complete debacle. You had Clemson, which now finally won a game last night in the conference, upsetting Louisville, who was a ranked team. At this point in time, I mean, when you look at the ACC, you don't have Clemson, you don't have Florida State. Potentially, you don't have Miami because they have 2 losses being in the conference championship this year. Who would have seen this coming with the ACC? By the way, they have to. One of them has to be in. An ACC winner has to be in the college football playoffs as a Power Five conference. But the ACC is horrible. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much there. I mean, could Georgia Tech end up being one of those teams? Who's going to get in there?
Georgia Tech. And by the way, if BC could upset Georgia Tech today, that whole thing is upside down, right? Upside down. And Pitt. By the way, so Georgia Tech and Pitt, I think, have the inside track. If Pitt upsets Notre Dame, then they're probably going to be the team to go to the fall college football playoffs. All right, we're going to make some picks, but I got to ask you a question. Right now, at this point in time, who's your Heisman favorite?
Oh man, that's
You
a
got so
tough
the
one.
right now the money's on Fernando Mendoza, who had that epic maybe Heisman moment last week with that big win over Penn State at the buzzer, but it was Penn State. You got Ty Simpson, you get the kid down at Texas A&M. I just drew a blank on his name, and those are probably the 3 big ones in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Is Sellers still in the equation, or is he
Yeah,
out?
that's a Salem. Are you saying
Sell
Salem? Oh no, Sellers.
Seller,
No, Sellers. No, he's no.
Sellers.
Yeah, this
Oh,
the other
okay.
kid, Salem from Ohio State.
Okay. Oh,
He's third. I gotta tell you right now, as much as I want to pick Mendoza for Ricky P and that IU team that's just a juggernaut, I'm going Ty Simpson because I think he's going to, at the end of he has the best chance for the rest of the season. He's got a big game today against OU. He finishes. Oh, Marcel Reed, that's the guy's name. A&M. He finishes against Texas A&M at the end. If he has big games in those 2 big games today and at the end of the season against A&M, I think Ty Simpson jumps everybody, wins the Heisman.
all right. It's a good prediction. I like it.
All right, let's go to some picks. Let's talk about that game at Three Rivers today. Plays Notre Dame. We're picking it at 12.5, but all of a sudden it dropped to 10.5. Notre Dame, the favorite. Who do you like in this game? The
Yeah,
cover.
Yeah, it's almost like one of those trap picks, you know. Notre Dame, the games I've watched Notre Dame play this year, they can ball, and I haven't seen much of Pitt. I think it's a trap. I'm going in. I'm going to lay the points and take Notre Dame.
So I did see Pitt actually trash BC, which I wasn't expecting to happen. And based off that, I got Pitt covered. I don't think they'd come close to winning, but at 12 and a half, let me take that all day long, especially having a game day crowd. It's going to be psyched. It's going to be jacked. It's going to be
Okay.
emotional. I got Pitt
Team
covered.
as well.
Okay. OU goes to Alabama. Another one. We picked at 6.5. This has dropped to 5.5, which means money's coming in on OU. I really want to pick OU. You know, I love OU. I just can't do it. Not at Alabama. As I just talked about Ty Simpson. If he has a big time ball out game, he's on the way to the
Yeah.
Heisman. I got Alabama covering this at 6.5, 5.5. I don't care. They win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I got them as well. And G Money went the other way on this one and took Oklahoma.
Ooh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Number 10, Texas goes to number 5, Georgia. They've never played in Athens, ever, ever. This is the first time that Texas and Georgia are playing in Athens. Georgia's a 5.5-point favorite. Arch Manning's played a little better, not enough, in my opinion. I'm going to go Georgia all day long, beating the Longhorns.
Yeah, I am as well. And believe it or not, G Money's going the other way on that one, taking Texas.
Next one. Number 21, Iowa. They've come out of nowhere. They're going out west to play number 17, USC. It's a 6.5-point game. I honestly have no idea on this one. I'm going to, you know what? Heads. Heads it is. I got USC. All right. What do you
I'm
think?
taking you. I'm going USC too. I mean, I took every favorite in out of the 4 picks in college. G Money's going the other way. He has all 4 dogs, so we literally have no picks the same. And you are with me on 3 of them. The only one you're different is you got Pitt covering against Notre Dame, and we're the
Yes.
same on the others. So
Yeah, man. All right.
yeah.
Big football weekend. Looking forward to it.
All
Enjoy.
right.
Take care, man. I'll talk to you
All
soon.
right. Sounds